two, one. Um, it's on you, big bro. You got the intro today.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Anthony Charpentier with Smoking and Joking, episode number 38. So
Hey.
yeah, it's pretty awesome. That's a lot of episodes. But
Mhm.
hey, I just want to say thanks everyone for joining us. Pretty much today we are going to wing it off of pretty much any type of conversation that comes up. Anybody wants to bring up any topics in the comments, just type it in. Let us know what y'all want to talk about. We'll discuss some issues. But pretty much we are right now we're missing Reed and we're missing Ralph Fiend. We're still working on his dissertation, doing some he's doing all of his academia. So, congratulations to him. Congratulations to his family and his sons. So he's got a son right now playing Division I college football. He's got his other two sons. They're playing high school football. So I know he's busy with them as well. Ralphine, she's currently working on her business and getting everything set up and put together. And then so it's just me and my boy Tor just kicking it, bringing it to you. He's down in Mexico, relocated down in Tijuana. Anybody been down there? Hey, I've spent some time on Revolution, and I've also been in some handcuffs down there too. So we're not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, that was good time. That was good time in the Marine Corps. I'll tell you that. Uh, but yeah, so congratulations to Reed for doing all his work that he's working on that he's doing right now for his doctorates, and also for Alfine running a successful business. Dare Essentials, as a matter of fact, you want to follow her on Instagram and on Facebook. It's Ralphine Connie, Khanni. And she has a lot of female products like lashes. She does hair extensions. She does hair. She has her own studio. She does. Uh, I mean, she has bonnets. She has all the essentials that a woman could need. So, I just want to give a shout out to her. She's doing an amazing job working on her brand as well. Follow on Instagram, Dare Essentials. Follow her on Facebook and TikTok, Ralphie and Connie, at Dare Essentials as well. So I know she's on those three social media platforms. Also, big shout out to Vets 365. And if you want to follow us on Smoking and Joking, we have we're on Instagram, Facebook, we're on YouTube, we got iHeart, Spotify. Um, let's see, we're on TikTok. Yeah, we're on
We
TikTok.
on TikTok. Yep.
TikTok also. So you can follow us on all these. And then we got little clips of reels and stuff of the interesting individuals that we have in the past we've interviewed and had good times with. We got some other interviews lined up here shortly, end of September and October. Like we got a lot of individuals lined up too. So, and they're going to be starting off, their podcasts, and we're going to be doing a lot of networking and things like that. Also wanted to give, to talk about real quick about mental health. I always thought here in the show, we always talk about men's mental health and just mental health in general. But the reason why is because, hey, in today's society, there's a lot of individuals we tend to bottle things up instead of talking about them externally and going to counseling and seeking the counseling that we need. And the reason why I say men's mental health more than anything else is because we have a suicide rate of 3.98 to 1, a suicide ratio of 3.98 to 1 that's reported. So that's the reason why I like to really say men, because we struggle with mental health, because a lot of us feel like we can't talk about certain issues. So if you're going through any type of turmoil and whatnot, you can go to the suicide hotline. You can Google a lot, the suicide hotline. There's other places, like if you're a veteran, immediately you can call. I think is it was it eight is it 877? I can't remember, but I know that the VA has a hotline that you can contact as well. And I always implore individuals, if you're having any type of struggles and issues with your finances or personal issues with family, so on and so forth, always seek counseling before it gets to that point where you're at a bridge or a point in your relationship or whatever that you feel like you're lost and you don't have any help, and you can always reach out. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to people that you went to serve, that you served with, because as Tor and I, we discuss uh, as well. What we do is we do debriefs after these kind of shows, and we always talk about mental health, and we always reaffirm to each other that we love each other and we're there for each other. So I even have a network of individuals that I've never met personally and shook their hands, but since we served in the capacity of being Marines, that I can reach out to them and talk to them no matter what. So feel like you can always talk to somebody if you served. It doesn't, even if you didn't serve, but since this is a veterans365.org type of thing, like we're veteran driven. Towards a veteran, Reed's a veteran, I'm a veteran, Bob, veteran. Like, so we all have like this cohesive bond that a lot of individuals um may look over or whatnot, but always seek out for help. Talk to one of your brothers or one of your sisters. I'm a huge advocate on mental health. So now I'm gonna go ahead and get off that serious subject and go ahead and pass it to Tor, and so we can get this show rolling. Hey, and
Wonderful.
congratulations for that move down to Mexico. And he was just talking about how he has like a 25-story building or something he lives in now.
Yeah. I'm in a four story spot, 3 bedroom, and it's got like two different rooftop views. It's got a view of the beach. I'm 15 minutes walking distance away from the beach. I had a desayuno. That's Spanish for breakfast. For everyone that's not Espaniola, I had that on the beach this morning. Cost me like, bro. I had steak and eggs and like some pancakes. Cost me like $8, bro. Like
Dang.
ridiculous. But Rosie Rose, she said you can dial 988 for the suicide hotline. And if you guys see me looking down, it's just I have the iPad. I'm responding to comments. I'm usually behind the scenes. Um, and Reed and Ralphine will be back. So I'm just here because we committed to each other to do 100 episodes. And I thank Anthony, Reed, and Ralphine for leading the charge. So if you guys catch me looking down, it's just me moderating the comments. So today we're gonna take it to smoke pit. Most of the time we have what they call schedule and agenda, or whatever topic items, but we're just gonna treat this like you know uh, Anthony was a young corporal Charpentier, and he had to watch a working party, and he volunteered Tor to go on a working party, and I found out I can go in the smoke pit, smoke a few black and mild, so I can get away from cleaning up or police calling the parking lot. So today's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wacky. I stay behind the camera for a reason. Anthony knows my brain is. I'm not trying to get admitted to to a psych ward, but yeah, man, we'll just dive into it. Anthony, so I apologize for not. I think the last 10 I haven't done any clips because I hired my daughters to do the clips, but they started school again. So I've had to do the clips, and I haven't really been on it. But I'll do the clips for this because we're gonna have a lot of hot button topics to talk about. And the first one we're gonna talk about is P Diddy. They say the P is for pedophile, and the Diddy is what his young victims used to call him. So I just want to go back and forth and get your take on first of all what's going on with P Diddy, and just shoot back and forth because I know a lot of people have different opinions about what's going on.
Yeah. So, uh, well, I mean, whenever you have, what is it, 1,000 bottles of what do you have, like
It
oil,
was a
lotion?
from what I hear, it was a cocktail of lube mixed with baby oil. I guess
Yeah.
he was a he was a scientist when it came to that stuff, and I guess the baby oil and lube made a perfect concoction of sliding, as the youngins say. So
Yeah. So I guess it's like 1,000. This is what I just read off of Reddit, or I'm sorry, the cut. Did the indictment explain the baby oil, the drugs, and the freak offs? So that to me it says a whole lot. Um, And I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, anybody's got that much oil and lube, like what in the world are you? What you got going on in that home? Uh, but I mean, it, as far as what I understand and what I know, like the dude, he's got whenever you gain that much power and that in this much fame in a I mean in 25 30 years, 25 years time, we'll say. Um, there's possibilities that you're going to get into some things that are very just egregious, right? They're like way the fuck left field, right?
Yeah.
Way left field. And that's my opinion. And that's I think a lot of these famous people they start to think that they're like above the law or whatever. I mean, you can look at like what Weinstein and what the hell he was doing in Hollywood for all those years to actresses and actors and stuff and like I think people they start to come up with these crazy things and ideas, thinking they can just get away with it. But obviously, Diddy ain't gonna be getting away. Diddy, we just learned Diddy daddles. You know, Diddy daddles.
The weird thing, man. Like I think it was 1997. My stepmom, either 96 and 97. My stepmom was all like, "Oh, Mace isn't with Puff Daddy no more." I'm like, "Why?" She's all like, "Yeah, apparently somebody caught Mace giving Puff Daddy fellatio, and that's what broke them up or whatever." And even oh, I gotta close this echo. Even knowing it then, bro, I'm like, you still didn't want to believe it because hip hop has been such like a masculine sport or masculine entertainment art form. And I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with him liking guys. You know what I'm saying? Because me, I think there should be more gay guys in the world. That's more women for me. That's that's how I look at
Bro,
it.
great minds think alike. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the same. Yeah.
So like everyone's all like, man, he had a thousand bottles of baby oil. I'm like, man, well, I guess he got tired of hot 2 and spitting on that thing, so he needed baby oil. Where I get mad is, man, I got 7 daughters, and then I got young little siblings with cousins and stuff, and I feel like, the Ushers, the Justin Biebers, the little kids that he was touching on, I feel that should be the focus primarily. And then I think after that, the focus should be him drugging people to sexually assault them. And then third, I think the blackmail. I think those are the three that the federal government should be focusing on. I don't know how the statute of limitations work, but if it's still around for statutory and blackmail and sexual assault, I think that's what you go after because I always like to play the devil's advocate. And when people told me he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil, I'm like, is that a crime? And then they're all like, he flew sex workers to his island to have sex with him. I'm all like, is that a crime? And then they're all like, oh, he bought women and men from pimps. I'm like, I think the pimps is a crime, but like in all the charges they're alleging on him, I'm like, where's the crime? I do think he committed crimes, but I think they're focusing on the wrong crimes. So that's
Yeah.
that's my take on the diddler.
Yeah. There was a comment right here. It says, Rosie Rose says, do you think Diddy is worse than R. Kelly? And I mean, I haven't seen Diddy's indictment. So Diddy Daddle's indictment.
She
I
sells,
should.
she sells by the
I don't know,
seashore.
man. I shouldn't be making fun of this shit. Because I don't know. I don't know if it was like sexual assault or anything like that. Because that's nothing to laugh about.
Yeah,
But
and we're not laughing at that, you guys. We're laughing at.
it's a pun
I
on
think
words.
yeah, and I think it's a nervous laughter too, man, because obviously it's not funny. So I mean, we're not poking fun in that, but like the Diddy dabble in diddling, like that's funny. That's funny alliteration. It's right there.
Yeah. So I just pulled up the indictment, and it just talks about him doing sex trafficking, manipulation, exploitation, and outright abuse. So, so if that's the case, then yeah, then I mean, we all know that any type of sex trafficking or any type of human trafficking is a serious violation. He's facing. Jamie says he's facing RICO charges, which covers the blackmail and transportation people across state lines for sex. Um, Yeah, and that's what I was just reading right now, Jamie. Thanks for clarifying that too. But yeah, so that's not something that we're laughing about. It's just we're really just laughing about the pun on words, quite honestly, because obviously
Yeah.
anything else like that is just it's kind of off the table because we don't condone any of that action. I know that I
Hell
don't
no.
personally. We don't. I don't condone none of that shit. It's just the whole pun on words type of shit. But the RICO charges that you I don't know anybody that really beats RICO charges. I think there are some cases, but they're very, very rare cases. So there's a huge possibility. And especially we're talking, I think it dated back to 2008. So you're
Hmm.
talking about that means he's been investigated for multiple years. So this isn't going to be something new. So I guess the Justice Department, uh, they definitely have been keeping tabs on Diddy for quite some time in order to, in order to come up with um, these types of charges. But going back to the original question, is do I think he's as bad as R. Kelly? And the thing with R. Kelly is he did it to all these underage girls, and it doesn't matter if they had their parents permission. It doesn't matter
Hmm.
any of that stuff. If you ask me, like there's a mental health issue if you're trying to if you're a grown ass 40-year-old man or even 30 something year old man and you have to have sex with 16-year-olds 15-year-olds and stuff like that. There's something, there's something off up here, right?
Yeah.
And I personally think, like, again, I don't know the specifics of Diddy's crimes, so I don't know how many women he's sex trafficked. I don't know. I think they're equally bad. They're equally bad.
Hmm.
It's just R. Kelly had so many young girls that if you go into the civil cases, now this is one thing I do know because I researched it. I want to say whenever they came out with that, I think it was a 4 or 5 part series of um of his sex violations and stuff like that on girls, or maybe it was a 3 part series on Netflix. I'm trying to remember, but it was before. It was like 2020, something like that. Whenever I think it came out, I'm trying to remember exactly. Nonetheless, though, whenever you're manipulating teenage girls, uh,
Hmm.
um, and then you're having to pay lawsuits and make them sign non-disclosure agreements. I think that I think that you are not only a predator, but you're a malicious, terrible person. And there's something psychologically wrong with you. So I can't equate the two, but I think that it's already been proven in court what R. Kelly's done, and I think he's a fucking menace. Uh,
Hmm.
Overall. I think he's a monster, right? Um,
Yeah.
that's the way I see it. He's a predator. He's a monster. But I don't know about the allegations with Diddy. I haven't read the full indictment, so I can't tell you all of that stuff. But I do know for a fact that R. Kelly is a sick. Uh, he's off. He's not there, man. Like you gotta have sex with 16-year-olds and 15-year-olds, bro. There's something fucking wrong with you. You know,
And
like
and not to cut you off, man, but I
not
got
go ahead.
7 daughters. I got 7 daughters. Oldest is 18, youngest is like 6 months old. And when people were talking about like the charges he's facing and everything, I always think from the legal perspective, and I think from the father's perspective. From the father's perspective, like once my daughters turn like the legal age in whatever municipality they're in, I would hope that I've done a good enough job to like have them stay away from people like this. You know, I think looking at Justin Bieber's mom and looking at Usher's mom, they really wanted fame for their kids, and them wanting fame for their kids is kind of like what put their kids in that situation. I think the parents hold some accountability definitely, but then if you're of age and you're hopping on a plane and you're like a sex worker and you're flying to Epstein Island or whatever because you want money. I think you hold some accountability too. Yeah, you're young and vulnerable, but at the end of the day, I don't think anything that happens to consent an adult happens 100% on one side. So it's tough to say that we're having seven daughters, but if my 18-year-old daughters are like, hey, I went and slept with this guy because, God forbid, I went and slept with this guy because I wanted some money, and now I want to blackmail this guy to keep on giving me money. I'll be like, hey, I raised you better than that. You're dumb for that. Just and this I have seven daughters. I love my daughters very much. And in today's world, I think we don't hold people accountable to their personal decisions because we want to focus so much on the people we want to label monsters. Yeah, R. Kelly, Puff Daddy, Usher, Clive Davis, all those entertainment people that were taking advantage of underage people, they should be held accountable. But the people that are of age that willfully went to the freak offs, that willfully booked the Uber or or took the taxi to the do they not hold any accountability? I don't know. What do you think? Am I being a victim blamer? I hope I'm not, but I'm just trying to think logically.
I think that we have to take away the. I think we, in the aspect of the concept of victim blaming, in my personal opinion, is if they're underage, number one, they can't consent. Whenever we're talking 15, 16-year-olds, so they automatically don't receive that.
Mhm.
They don't like you. It doesn't matter
Absolutely,
what we actually think.
absolutely,
I mean, they can't legally make those kinds of decisions. But if
absolutely.
you're talking about an adult, somebody's 21 years old, um, in my opinion, in my opinion, they do hold some accountability. However, though, the way that if they're coerced into it, like you're going to do this, or I'm going to blackmail you with this right here, then
Hmm.
the responsibility again, that's out of their hands. You know what I mean? Because hey, they're being coerced literally into doing something, uh, and there's it's out of their hands at that point. And then when I was just reading, also, I think he was charged with also narcotics as well, oxycodone. There's a whole bunch of different narcotics.
Yep.
They were probably utilizing uh, on the
Hmm.
women as well, or the men, whatever they were doing, because Diddy daddles, right? From from like so whatever whichever victims they were actually targeting at the time. So that's my opinion of it. I don't think it's necessarily a victim blaming, but whenever they're coerced of it at that point, they're
Hmm.
that decision is really out of their hands. But
Hmm.
yes, if they were to literally, they weren't coerced, okay, but they were kind of, we'll say, like kidnapped in a way to go fly over there, and they didn't know that that was going to happen. They did at that point knowingly go get in the Uber, whatever taxi, go from there to the airport to the private plane to find. And then they found out, well, hey, shit, like I guess we're going somewhere, and they got on the plane. There is a tiny bit of responsibility, if they weren't under any type of coercion,
Hmm.
influence with alcohol or drugs. They're going, and then next thing you know, they're ending up on some island for 5 days being kidnapped. That decision for them, their naivety led them to that. But at that, it's still wrong. It's still because you can't kidnap a person. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's dead ass wrong. Uh, but their decision leading up to the kidnapping was they should have thought a little bit more in depth about how much do I really trust this person? Were they lied to? There's a whole bunch of variables. But I don't know, maybe I'm sounding like I'm victim blaming at that point, but if you're a grown ass person and you're making stupid mistakes like that without knowing the person really well, and you're getting ready to get on an airplane, you get flown to an island, and then now you're just like, well, I didn't agree to come to this island. Yeah, but you agreed to get on the airplane without asking the pilot where you're going. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some blurred lines there, and I could be an asshole for sounding like that. But if I was an investigator, I mean, kidnapping's kidnapping. They're still committing a crime, but at that point, as an investigator,
Yeah.
I would be thinking like, well, you should have kind of thought about that, done a little operational risk management before you went and set off that IED. So I, I mean, I'm not trying to sound bad, but hey, if I'm gonna just put it
It's a
to you this
touchy
way.
subject. It's a touchy
Yeah,
subject.
it is a touchy subject. If I'm 21 years old and somebody's telling me, "Hey, bro, you're going to give it on Eva Mendez's plane, and like whatever happens, you're going to go fly here." I mean, there's a huge possibility that Anthony Charpentier, at 21 years old, is going to meet Eva Mendez and possibly get some ass out of it. Eva Mendez, there's a huge possibility I'm going, and if I get kidnapped along the way, you know what I mean? Like, then that's my poor decision. But I made it. I'll probably own up to that too. Just because I'm irresponsible, I would say I'm irresponsible at that point. So I don't know. What do you think, bro?
I think okay, so I'm not going to talk on Puff Daddy, but this I thought about this because one of my favorite actresses, she goes by the name of Mia Khalifa. Check her out; she's done great work. She she's done. She should win an Oscar for the work that she's done. She's done outstanding work. Uh,
She's in
she
morale,
actually
welfare, and recreation.
yeah, she worked for a famous studio. Everybody knows it. And then she had this period where she's like, "Man, I don't want none of my videos out, nothing like that." Uh, she's like, "I was manipulated. I didn't know what I was getting into." So I'm like, "Okay, all right. Well, I guess I'm not gonna watch her videos anymore because you want to believe that when you're watching your favorite actresses that they actually enjoy what they're doing." So then I'm like, "Well, that sucks. I got to find another actress." So then, fast forward all these years later, she's right back to doing what she was doing. And it makes me think, okay, so 5 years from now, if you get mad that your videos didn't sell or that you did that, are you going to say the same thing? And having 7 daughters, I'm big on women having accountability. I'm not no woman hater or nothing. I just have 7 daughters, and I've raised them. And I think lots of times men or adults, we want accountability and men want personal accountability and we hold each other up to having personal accountability. But I think all too many times there's a lot of men that don't want adults, well-thinking adults like Mia Khalifa. She's an adult. She's still doing my favorite movies right now. And what's her excuse now? She's no longer a young impression. So it's like I think about those situations, not so much the Puff Daddy because Puff Daddy was wrong. He's a piece of shit. I hope they put him under the jail. Um, Ara Kelly, Usher, all them people that was part of that, they're obviously wrong. But then I think about like the consenting adults, like I was saying, who say, "Oh, I didn't want to do this," and then they pop back up doing the same thing. It's like, bro, at the end of the day, my homeboy, his wife cheated on him, and she did like a bunch of horrible stuff to him. And she tried telling she did it because the iron was low. So it's like, bro, where is the adult personal accountability? And it seems like in America, because vivo en Tijuana, cabrones. It seems in America, a lot of adult women aren't held accountable because for every one man that wants to hold them accountable, there's like 5 men that'll be like, "Oh, go ahead and do your stupid stuff. You're a woman." And I think that's more an insult to women that men don't want to hold them accountable because then the equality they're looking for, you're not on an equal field. And I just have that perspective because I have 7 daughters. If I had sons, I probably wouldn't. Who knows? But that's what I think about the whole situation. Yeah.
Yes, an interesting perspective that you actually say it like that. I never. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's something that hasn't. It's never really crossed my mind. You know, I've never really thought of it that way. Um, that without sounding, misogynistic or anything like that. Even in some relationships, I think that sometimes individuals don't hold themselves accountable. First of all, is acknowledging, right? You acknowledge whatever the issue is. Identify. Actually, the first step is identification, acknowledgement. and then actually change, so for me, a lot of individuals, and obviously I'm a man, so I'm going to say in my intrapersonal relationships and personal relationships, sometimes women do have, in my past, lacked accountability. I've also lacked accountability, um, or acknowledging my lack of accountability, as well. And these are changes that I've had to make over time as well. To go, going to counseling, that's helped me notice that my lack of accountability has led me to where I'm at in the relationship, i.e., ignoring red flags, so on and so forth. But I do believe that all of us as humans, like we do, a lot of us we do lack accountability, holding ourselves accountable for certain things, because that makes us take a step back and then reflect on what we did, acknowledge it, reflect, acknowledge, and. Make the change.
Mm-hmm.
And I work with my therapist on that pretty frequently. Uh, um, she's really, really supportive of the way that the things that we talk about and the way that I perceive them and the work that we put into it. But I couldn't imagine having seven daughters in today's society. How in the world do you cope with that? How do you work with that?
I got my phone timer set every hour to take 10 deep breaths. It's an alarm. It's an alarm that goes off every hour. Because I had to go to, I'm divorced, and I tried. That's why I like your post, because I'm divorced. I was married for 15 years and I got divorced. And then I tried another relationship, and me and my ex girlfriend broke up. And, I try to say, love isn't bad. Because my friends that have a great relationship, I don't want them to lose it. And if I were to ever get a great relationship, I wouldn't push it away. But part of my coping with having seven daughters is I I noticed that people always teach their sons how to treat somebody's daughter, right? I don't know nobody other than me that teaches a daughter how to treat somebody's son. You know what I'm saying? Which is really important because men's mental health matters. We talk. Are you hearing echo?
No, not hearing an echo.
Okay, good to go. Men's mental health matters, and there are women. I've seen my friends in marriages who have women that can speak life into them, that can be that vulnerable person when they both get home from work that they can confide in and everything. And then the other way around, I've seen women completely destroy buddies I've had by disrespecting them. My daughters, they came out from Atlanta. My older daughters came out from Atlanta to celebrate one turning 16, and we went to Universal Studios. We went to the beach. We had like 5 days of fun. But every time we went to eat, I would buy them the food. And after I bought them the food, I'd be like, okay, y'all need to throw away the food. And I told them, if you buy the food for a man and he expects you to clean the table, that's not an equal relationship. So I just teach them things like that. I said, if you buy food for anybody and you bring the food to the table and they don't want to clear the table after you don't bought the food, that's not a relationship you should be in. But I feel like it's important for me to teach my daughters how to interact with a man if they want. I told my daughters don't get married because the Taurus, we ain't marrying people. Ain't nobody in my lineage that stayed married. And I didn't stay married. So I wish somebody would have told me, hey, don't get married. We're not marrying people. But I tell them, if you want to get married and stay married, this is how you should expect to treat your partner. So
Mhm.
that's how I cope with it. That's a good question, by the way. Thanks, man. Ain't nobody asked me that before.
Yeah, well, I got to be honest with you. In today's society and the social construct, how it's changed with the aspects of social media and the dynamics of social media and how it impacts us differently. It also creates certain disorders and can bring on onset of depression, and there's also cyberbullying, and definitely all these different aspects. And these things affect the youth uh,
Hmm.
tremendously. It affects, like I've read some of the studies, um, and it creates psychological um, turmoil, right? So because if they post a picture, a 16-year-old posts a picture with her and her friends, and their high school gets it, and they say, oh, whatever, they make fun of whatever it is. that could bring some type of esteem issue, which then can lead them spiraling down some, mild depression, and then they have
Hmm.
to, battle that to get back up. Um, so, and especially girls, like girls. The reason why also I believe is challenging. Thank you, Jesus. I'm not a father. Is you know dealing with the sexualization of women, right?
Hmm.
So I couldn't imagine having seven daughters and then knowing how social media impacts the psyche today, on top of the sexualization of women as well. And then, obviously all of them are going to grow up and be, young women, and then middle-aged women, and then you got guys that are going to be treating them certain ways and talking certain ways to them. So, obviously their youth and development, especially the 0 to 10 years. The 0 to 10 years is where children effectively get their characteristics and their personalities from, and their core base values, and that's from psychology studies. So, in my analytics would be, it'd be very challenging to teach a girl how to actually navigate that, um, especially as they get older, and then teaching them as they become, teenagers, young, when girls with, you know, getting their menstrual cycle and then changing their hormone panels change, and so on and so forth until their mid teenage years, and then their latter teenage years, having to mold them and teach them the complexity and how things are going to evolve and change for them, not just physiologically, but sexually, and then knowing what men, because I've been a dog before, you know what I mean? Like knowing who I am
I,
as a
I,
man.
I still I still am a dog. That's how I introduce myself to women. I let
At
them know
least,
I'm a dog. I don't like lying to women, so I tell them exactly who I am.
yeah. I ain't gonna lie to a woman anymore, man. I've done that. I've been a dog. I ain't doing that here again. But just to know, just to know, I was immature at one point in my life. Having that many, young women that you're gonna have to develop and whatnot. I can see that as being kind of stressful, But I'm not talking about your daughters anymore. Just in today's society, I think it would be extremely stressful to really to develop, women, these girls into young ladies, um, in the social construct, and being the social construct isn't necessarily what it is or what it was whenever Henry David Thoreau was really talking about social contracts between each other. Yes, it's going to be more of, do unto others as you have done unto you, but at the same time, it's going to be also how we overall talk to each other, and the contracts that we make of yes, I will do this, and so on and so forth, of how we treat each other with dignity and respect, just walking and talking, um, by individuals. Just that kind of thought process, because women are so sexually, or I'm sorry, so sexualized today. Uh, and that's, it, it would be for me, it would be it'd be very challenging to be a father of a girl today. A girl dad
It's tough.
would
It's
not be
tough,
my
bro.
thing.
It's tough because my oldest daughter, she, she's I think she's bisexual,
Mhm.
and I don't judge her. Her mom was gay when she was in high school. I really feel like you can't. I'm 100% hetero man. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that you can't tell someone that's gay to be straight, just like how you can't tell someone that's straight to be gay. It just doesn't work like that.
Doesn't work like that.
Also, I used to work with a guy that he felt real bad. He wasn't on Diddy's level, but he had a lot of money, and he used to love getting his back blown out by girls wearing strap-ons. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Begging.
know this.
You got
I
pegged.
Yeah, his girlfriend's name was Peggy, and I didn't know this until probably like a year after working with this guy, and he was embarrassed for it. He's like, "Nah, man, it's just that." I'm like, "Bro, you ain't gotta explain nothing to me, bro. I'm not in your bedroom." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you choose to do behind closed doors How you get down is how you get down. I don't want to know. You don't see me in the street, like groping on women and performing sexual acts in the street. So I keep what I do behind closed doors. So I'm not here to judge another man or woman what they do. But I train my daughters, no matter what their sexual inclination is. I just want them to be fully functioning adults. Like the other day, one of my daughters was telling me, "Oh, this person's calling me, but I don't want to talk to them." And at first, she tried to justify some of the things that she did, and I'm like, "Don't get into the act of justifying wrong things you did." But at the same time, if you're so anxious that your heart's beating and you can't breathe deep, and your heart rates, or all the signs of anxiety are showing to talk to somebody, don't talk to them. Text them, say, "Hey, I don't want to talk right now, I'll text you later." And I had to tell her that's all part of like growing into an adult. It's okay to walk away and revisit a conversation. It's okay to take a break, like, but it's not okay to be afraid of people. It's not okay to lie about things you did wrong. And so I try to take that approach, whether male or female. I just want them to be fully functioning adults, which is tough today because there's a lot of little traps. And like I said, people hate personal accountability. I know I hate personal accountability. I still try to face it because I hate it so much, but we hate personal accountability, bro. Okay, let's move on to the next topic because okay, so you want to do a commercial real quick before we move on to the next topic?
Man, I ain't got my stuff in front of me, bro, but I can go ahead and hit mine. My
Oh
name is
yeah.
Anthony Charpentier with AMCJ Fitness. I do diet, training, and fitness plans, consultations. You can reach me on social media at Anthony Charpentier, on Facebook, Anthony Charpentier, Instagram, Anthony.Charpentier Jr. The name is right here below. And then TikTok also, Anthony.Charpentier. So if you want a fitness consultation, diet, training, supplementation plans, you can by all means reach out to me at amcjfitness at gmail.com. Shoot me an email. We can correspond. And then I'll do a phone consultation with you, see exactly what your goals are, do an intake form, and then we can get you started on your fitness goals. Also, I'll go ahead and knock out this for Ralphine. My girl, Ralphine Connie, she's not here right now. She has a business in Sacramento called Dare Essentials. It is for, she owns a woman's uh, uh, a
Salam.
beauty salon. Yeah, thank you. I don't know why in the world I was having a problem with that. She owns a beauty salon in Sacramento, and she also has her own products. So you can reach out to her at Ralphine Connie, Khanni, on Facebook, and she also has TikTok at Ralphine Connie Dare Essentials. And then also she has Instagram at Dare Essentials. So you can reach out to her. She has lashes, extensions, hair products, you name it, anything for a woman, she has it. She also has her shop. So, I just want to do a shout out to Ralphine. Thank you so much, very much for being one of our co-hosts. And my boy Reed right now, he's a little busy doing his dissertation. I know he's been working hard on that. So he's a sociologist. He's already done everything for his master's. He's working on his doctorates at Walden University. So I know that he's been busy. He's been off the show for a couple weeks. We're looking to have him back in 2 or 3 more weeks also, because he has just a tremendous schedule going on right now. But I just want to give a shout out to him. Man, we appreciate you. We love you, brother. We miss you. We miss you also, Ralphine. Can't wait to have you back on Two Sisters Tour. Go ahead, knock it out.
Hey, before I do, man, your advice on walking, drinking water. Uh, I want to let you know I lost. I went for 250. Now I'm 211 pounds. It took me like three months to do, but yeah, man, it seeing your fitness motivation, it motivated me. Like, man, I gotta be healthier. I gotta strive for that balance that you talk about. So my name is Theophilus Tor. I'm the owner of Artias. Y'all see the double pyramid stands for ascension. Artias is a Latin word for artful, skilled, and complete. And we are project managers. We're also business coaches. If you have any small business, it doesn't matter if you're female, male, white, black, purple, green. Any small business that you have, the United States government has set aside millions upon millions of dollars, multi-millions, sometimes 60, sometimes 70, sometimes 100 million for your small business, for the industry that you're in. So what we do is we do business registration to get companies completely registered to do business in the United States and with the United States. We also we do information technology architecture to make sure that you look like a risk adverse vendor to the United States government. And then the third thing we do is we teach you how to find purchasers and write proposals to them so that you can get millions. This year, we've helped 12 businesses get started. Three of those businesses are prime contracting with the United States government. It took them 3 months to get started. And so reach out to us at, let me put the, I forgot to put the thing down. Reach out to us at yesrts.com. That's yesrts. If you're in business and you want to make money, if you want to start a business and you want to make money, reach out to RTS because we know where people have their hands tied to where they have to buy from you. And then our last sponsor is Vets 365. Vets 365 is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Right now, we have a business development program for service disabled vets, and Artias and other companies, we donate pro bono hours to any service disabled veteran that wants to learn how to get in the game. Um, Again, the 12 businesses that Artias has helped this year have all been service disabled veteran business. So to use the program is completely free. And yeah, support Vets 365. That's not all we do. We have a housing program, we have a grocery program, and Stay School Bob, Roy Thomas, myself, and Bob's picking another guy. We recently started a fund for guys in 2-4 that want to travel to funerals, reunions, or retirements, where people can donate frequent flyer miles. And being a co-founder of Vet 365, if you have anything you want to do to help veterans, reach out to us. You know, you can leverage our nonprofit status, and if the plan is feasible and aligns with our mission, we'll help you launch. If you don't want to start a nonprofit, if you do want to start a nonprofit, reach out to RTS. We just helped Jimmy and Beth King register for a federal 501c and also register in their state as a nonprofit. We're just waiting on the paperwork to get cleared, and then we'll move forward with more of the business development. So yeah, that's our commercials for today. All right, we got about 13 more minutes. I wanted to get into something that I shared, Anthony. Reed always says, "Let your freak flag fly." And I am that's I don't know if it's a red flag, but I'm super attracted to cosmetic surgery if it's done right. There's a young starlight that I like, and I follow her, and whoever her doctor is did it right. And so I shared it on my page today. And as soon as I shared it, you know, people hit me up and people were commenting, and, oh, you're promoting unrealistic beauty standards. Oh, you like the plastic, or you like this. I'm like, bruh, what I like is what I like. So I just want to bring that topic up as far as cosmetic surgery for male and female. I'm of the opinion, if you don't like what you see when you look in the mirror, fix it. Because you shouldn't be doing it for other people. You should be doing it for what makes you happy in the mirror. And if it brings other people joy, that's a plus. Like homegirl, I posted, she brings me a lot of joy whenever I look at her. Not a little, a lot of joy. So I'll pass the mic over to you to see what your take on that is.
All right, so here's my take, man. Like, I'm in the fitness industry, so it is not uncommon to see, uh, like, literally breast augmentation at every fitness competition, right? Like, this is literally, it's part of it. You know, like, that's literally what different what judges are looking for on top of the simple aesthetics of their physique. They're also looking for other things as well. And I would honestly say, once you start getting into the professional level, when we're talking about bikini, physique, uh, you know, women's, all the women's categories, like your top competitors are going to have like breast augmentation, almost guaranteed, not 100%, but a lot, most of the time, it's just the way it is. Now, going into that, I believe that it's exactly what you said. You shouldn't be doing it for anybody else but yourself, your own self confidence. And, like if that's what your preference is, that's what your preference is. Not everybody's going to have the same preference, right? We know Reed, he likes the BBLs, right?
He
He's
likes
all
it
about the
big.
BBLs, bro. So, you know what I'm
The bigger the
saying?
better.
So, shout out to my boy Reed.
Shout out to Reed.
He be liking some BBLs, man.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that's his thing, right? Like that's good. That's whatever, it I think personally, it is what you like, what you want to pick, and when it comes to cosmetics, that's just the way it is. Now, that's for women. All right. For men, I think this is what I really believe. If you're a man and you don't like what you see in the mirror, then you know, I don't know if it's a receding hairline, if it's, I don't know if you're obese, and depends on your level of obesity also. I think the first thing you want to do is change what you want to see, change your dietary habits, change your fitness regime, um, or regimen, and then move forward. If it's once you lose excess weight and you have a lot of loose skin, if you want to get that surgically removed, I wholeheartedly believe in it if it's going to help your self confidence and make you feel better. Yeah, absolutely. If you got a receding hairline and you want to get plugs, or whatever you want to do, Bosley, knock yourself out, go do it. You know what I mean? Like if it's going to make you more confident, then go do it, right? If you want to get stem cells done for your hair, go do it, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Um, Now, but I do believe in the aspect of men, since we can manipulate our hormones easier than women. I think that if your idea of fitness or whatever, you don't like what you see in the mirror and you want to get fit, the first thing you should do is get your blood work done and talk to a hormone replacement therapist or specialist so that they can put you on TRT or HRT so that you can start working out properly, getting what you need, because testosterone is the base of a man's endocrine system, with estrogen being the base of a woman's endocrine system. So I think as a man, you got to put in the work. I don't believe in getting the surgery. I've seen guys with like these silicone six packs and pectoral implants, and like I've seen this, bro, and I'm just like, why don't you just diet?
They
You
got
know,
titties.
yeah, and like, why don't you just diet and train for a year and you can have that naturally, right? So,
Mhm.
um, but a lot of people, they don't want to put in that effort, so on and so forth. And even though I might think it's weird, if that's what's going to help their confidence out, by all means, go do it. But you know, uh, but I think as a man, you know, show some discipline. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You're supposed to be disciplined anyway. How you supposed to lead a woman and a family and a household if you ain't showing some type of discipline? And if that means
Yeah.
pushing away that cake and pushing away that pizza for a little while so that you can get yourself back in shape, then that's what it means, right? Like eat some chicken and rice and some greens, eat
Yep.
salads, eat good sources of protein, healthy sources of protein. And that's me as a man. Like, you're the disciplinarian. You are literally setting the example for your family. So if you're going to set that example for your family and you don't like what you see in the mirror, then change your dietary habits first. Go see your primary care specialist and get your blood work done. See what you need, and then start training. You know what I mean? Like, to me,
Mhm.
that as a man,
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to immediately go and get some type of surgery done so you can get a fake ass six pack. You know what I mean? Now, that's just when we're talking about the obesity aspect of it. But if you're talking about plugs or wrinkles and you want to get a little Botox or something like that, yeah, knock that shit out, whatever, bro. I don't care. You know, and then let's see, even getting and I read something about the surgery too. Let's say that you have some, I guess penile issues and you don't think your dick's big enough, right? I know
Oh,
they have they have surgeries for that. So
they call that SDB. They call the group of those people small dick bandits. That's what they call
I'm- oh Jesus. I don't know why I opened this can of worms. But anyways, so I know that you can go, there's like there's specialists that you can see about that too. And I don't know exactly how the procedure works, but there's some type of procedure you can have
Anthony,
done with that.
bro, let
Yeah.
men find out. Let some of these small dick bastards find out that they can get dick implants. I guarantee people gonna be coming through the door like, oh, hold on, I just got to throw my dick around my. I got to tie my dick around my belt. That's what they're gonna do. That's what I think. Like, okay,
That's
breast
funny.
implants is come a long way. You know what I'm saying? BBLs has come a long way. I bet a lot of guys, if they could get dick implants or penile implants, because we don't want to get demonetized, penile implants to be medical. I think they would. I think it'd be ridiculous too. Like somebody would pull up, and then there'd be a cart, someone pushing the rest of it. That's what I think men would do. Yeah, hypocrites. But I hear you on that because I always joke I got project grass on the top of my head, and I went and saw a specialist. I'm not doing no hair implants, nothing like that. And they looked at my hair, they're like, "Yeah, you got hair." So they're gonna do like this. They call it TED. It's like this sound vibration thing they put. So like, and then they put like a topic on top of your head because I'm trying to have sons. If I don't have sons, there's no more tours on the face of the planet. So I have to have sons. And women all the time tell me, "Oh, you look so handsome, bald, blah blah blah." But I'm like, I don't care what you say. I want to have hair. Like I know I'm handsome. I know I can get chicks, but I want to look in the mirror. And in 3 years from now, I want to have dreads. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like what you said. Um, we got 3 more minutes, Anthony. I just want to give the floor to you because I know I've been moderating and bringing up topics. Is there anything you want to talk about or close out with, big bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna close out with I'm gonna close out with mental health again, man, because just because it's such a large topic to me. Uh, as you and I have progressed in life, and we spent a lot of time in the military, we always reach out to individuals whenever we're feeling depressed, blue, and we don't have anybody to really correspond with, to talk with. And every single year, I know, me personally, I've lost a lot of different. I lost a lot of people to suicide. It is extremely, it's disheartening because you think to yourself like, bro, why couldn't you just reach out to one of us? Like we used to hang out at the barracks and we used to
Yeah,
drink, and especially I spent like 17, almost 16 and a half, almost 17 years in the Marine Corps. Like why couldn't you reach out to me? Did you think that you couldn't reach out to me and talk to me about something? So to me, mental health, if you're ever feeling down, if you're ever feeling blue, if you ever need somebody to talk with about something that's going on in your life. And I'm non-judgmental because I'm one of those type of people, bro. I went to prison. So there's nothing that can ever happen to me to where I'm going to sit here and judge you unless you're doing something
yeah.
some really bad things. Then I'm going to say something bad to you. So, um, but I'm one of those type of people, like if you're having issues, reach out to a brother, reach out to me, reach out to somebody, because your life is important, especially if you're a good citizen, if you're out here producing something for the United States. Well, it doesn't matter if you don't feel like you're important. You're important to your mom, dad, sister, brother, cousin, uncle, former platoon sergeant, former platoon commander, one of your platoon mates. Somebody that you ran across that actually thought about you, a former school member, somebody you went to high school with, somebody you graduated college with, somebody, even your mechanic, somebody
Mm,
might think highly of you,
yeah.
so don't be one of those individuals. I can't say don't be, but reach out and do some work and try to get back in the fight. And the way you get back in the fight is identifying that you're having episodes and issues with something traumatic that happened in your past, and deal with it as much as possible. Get as much help as you can. Go to the VA, go to a clinic, go. uh, there's a ton of places that you can go, and you know I believe in you. I know that you can do it. If a lot of us that faced it have thought about it, we I know that you can do it. So
Yep.
I'm gonna just leave it with that. Like, take care of your mental health, and you know, that's my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying that too for Reed. If Reed was here, he would be on top with me. We would be that's our thing. Talk about mental
Hell yeah.
health. So yeah,
Hell yeah.
that's all I got, brother.
Well said, brother. So we'll be back on Thursdays, guys. We'll have a guest on Thursday. And thank you guys for joining another. I really enjoyed this episode, Anthony. I had a
Yeah.
great time. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy football.